In this video, we are going to talk about converting between the systems, specifically converting between the metric system and the US system. And it's important to be able to do these conversions so we can relate them to each other. Now, converting between them uses the same process as we did when converting within the US system of measurement. And so what we need is these conversion rates that I like to call a bridge. So we need a conversion rate that's going to bridge the metric system and the US system. And if you know that bridge, then you can convert between them. So for example, some of the bridges that we're going to be talking about and using is 1 inch equals 2.5 centimeters, 2.2 pounds equals 1 kilogram, 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters, and 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. And so these are our bridges. Let's look at some examples. So June bought 5.5 meters of elastic bandage wrap and used 10 feet of it. How many meters are left? So we need to convert 5.5 meters and 10 feet into the same unit. And because it's asking for how many meters are left, it makes sense just to put them both into meters. So 5.5 meters is in meters, that's good. We want to put 10 feet into meters so that we can figure out how much is left. So the first step with these problems is kind of to plan out our pathway. How are we getting from feet to meters? So what I want to do is I want to look at my bridges that I have and see if I can get to any of these bridges. So tablespoon, teaspoon, milliliters, they're not going to help me. Pounds, kilograms aren't going to help me. But 1 inch and 2.54 centimeters is going to help me. So what I can do is use that bridge to get between them. So I'm going to go from feet to inches. Then I'm going to use my inches to centimeter bridge, and then I can convert within the metric system to get from centimeters to meters. So kind of the hardest part of these questions is just figuring out your pathway. In what steps am I going to take to get from one to the other? So my first step is to get from feet to inches. So I have 10 feet, and I want to get to inches. This is our usual within the US system type of conversion. So my conversion for feet to inches is 1 foot is 12 inches. That's my feet to inches conversion. So I'm going to do this by putting the feet on the bottom and the inches on top. That way, these kind of cancel each other out, and I'm left with inches, which is what I'm trying to get to. And this tells me I'm going to do 10 times 12 in my calculator. So I get 120 inches. So 120 inches altogether of that's what's been used. So now I'm going to use my bridge, my inches to centimeter conversion, in order to get from inches to centimeters. So I have 120 inches. I'm going to put the 1 inch on the bottom and the 2.54 centimeters on the top. So I'm going to do 120 times 2.54, which is 304.8 centimeters. And now I'm going to take that centimeters and go to meters. So 304.8 centimeters. If I remember my metric conversions, I have meters here, and then I have decimeters, centimeters. So to go from centimeters to meters, I'm going to do 2 jumps to the left. And so I end up with 3.048 meters. Now I'm not rounding at all in any of these. I have not rounded, because when we are doing math and math that requires more than one step, we only ever round at the very, very end. And I'm not at the end yet. Right now, I've just figured out that 10 feet is equal to 3.048 meters. So we're going to look back at the question. The question asked how many meters are left. Okay, so I'm going to take my 5.5 meters and subtract my 3.048 meters. And I get 2.452 meters are left. And then this doesn't specify a rounding, so I'm going to use the lowest number of significant digits. In this case, 5.5 only has 2 significant digits, so I'm going to round this one to 2 significant digits as well. So I have 2.5 meters left. Okay, so just to kind of rewind, summarize the steps that I took here. The first step that I took was finding my pathway. How am I getting from feet to meters so that I can figure out what's left? Then I actually performed the calculations in my pathway to get from feet to meters. And finally, I solved the actual question, which was how many meters are left, making sure to round my answer to either the indicated number, which in this case they didn't indicate a specific number of rounding, so I'm going to round based on the number of significant digits in the question. Okay, so here is 2 questions for you to try. I want you to pause the video and then start it up again when you're ready. Okay, so for question number 2, a baby weighs 5.5 kilograms at birth. What is the baby's weight in pounds and ounces? So we want to figure out a pathway that's going to take us from kilograms to pounds and ounces. So we have 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So let's make note of that on the side. We also need to know pounds and ounces. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. And when it says it wants it in pounds and ounces, what it's saying is I want the whole number to be pounds. And if there's any left over where that's not a whole pound, you want to write that in ounces. And so we need to figure out a pathway that goes from kilograms to pounds and ounces. And in this case, our bridge goes to pounds. So we're going to do from kilograms to pounds, and then from pounds to pounds and ounces. So 5.5 kilograms. If we want to put that all in pounds, we're going to use our conversion by putting kilograms on the bottom. So in the calculator, I'm doing 5.5 times 2.2, which is 12.1 pounds. And so to write that in pounds and ounces, I'm going to keep the 12. So my final answer is 12 pounds and something ounces. And I'm going to keep going with the 0.1. So 0.1 pounds. I want to put that into ounces. And we know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So I'm going to do 0.1 times 16 is 1.6 ounces. And so my final answer is 12 pounds and 1.6 ounces. In question number 3, a bottle of cough syrup has a capacity of 250 milliliters. If you take 3 teaspoons 2 times a day for 3 days, how many milliliters are left? So if I take 3 teaspoons 2 times a day for 3 days, how many teaspoons have I taken in total? So I'm going to do 3 times 2 times 3 and get 18 teaspoons taken. And I want to know how many milliliters are left. So I need to go from teaspoons 2 milliliters. Let's see if we have a bridge that's going to help us. Yes, 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters. So I'm going to take 18 teaspoons. I'm timesing that by my conversion with teaspoons on the bottom. So I do 18 times 5, which is 90 milliliters that I have taken. And I'm going to take my 250 milliliters. We're going to subtract the 90 we took. And we get 160 milliliters left. Okay, so you're going to rank yourself thumbs down if you're having trouble converting between the systems of measurement, finger pointed if you need some more practice with this, and thumbs up if you're like, I can convert between the systems of measurement, I don't need any more help or practice.